Hello everyone, how very good of you to join, and welcome to Feudal Baron King's Land, a new, city builder set in medieval times, coming out to Steam. And nope, this is not a sponsored video, this is just a new game that I want to show you because I think it might be up your alley. I'm just going to show you hands-on gameplay of how to play this game, what you can expect to make a decision for yourself. This game offers right now a campaign, a scenario, and a free mode. The scenario has different missions for you, the campaign has a story, and the free mode is basically where you build up a settlement on a random map. This is what I would like to show you. Let's get cracking. Now, there it is at the beginning. We are in the beginning of March, beginning of a new year, of the year 1200. And well, basically right here in the center, we have a small settlers camp with a few sorry souls in that. Their mood is, well, indifferent, up to no good, probably. And they are expecting great things of us. They're expecting, for example, that we're building some roads here and there. So let's make us a crossroad right here in the center. This already costs me a bit of my money that we have. So we got 20,000 coin that we're starting with, and well, we're already dwindling on that. We need to hurry up because yeah, we are subject to the king, and the king has demands that we need to fulfill. So in this case here, we need to get cracking on this, right? And let's just see that we make, first of all, around the camp here a small road I would like to have. And then we need to look out for the resources we have on this map. That would be wood. Over here we have some clay, and we also have some ruins around us here. So I want to make sure that we use most of those things. And we can start with things that you always start with. One of them would be a stockpile. So this is where we can then store some of the resources we are going to produce. Let's have a stockpile, yeah, not too far away from the city so far, somewhere over here. We also want to start with some basic production buildings. That is the lumberjack hut that starts producing us then some logs. And yeah, also one thing, so over here we have some forest, right, that I would like to use for this. One thing is we need to actually get the resources we need in up here. So we start with some logs, some planks that we have, also tools, very important, stone, and I would also like to watch out for my food, which is my grain supply at the moment, basically. Now, right over here, let's go with another road setup, right? That is my log production. And right next to it, I'm going to have a sawmill that also produces then the first planks for us. Let's have this one over here. Also very important that we should start with is some basic housing, because right now my villagers are, well, homeless. And that should not be the case. So let's start with having, yeah, probably the first block of 3 houses somewhere over here in the center of it. Once again, yeah, like with most of these games, a tier 1 building that we have. We can, by the way, on pause so that we get the first builders then out already. And speaking about builders, very important also that we get a workshop going. I'm going to make this a bit further over here, probably a bit hidden or something like that, because this is where the workers are going to reside, right? So now finally someone comes out here. Rayleigh and where you Brandon, those two are going in, and they're going to start producing us now, or building us the first houses here. Also, we need more graveyards. Thank you very much for telling me. You never know sometimes. So the first thing they're doing, of course, is delivering the resources over there, stone, tools, and planks, right? And with that we can build it then. Oh, hello there. We also got some game on this map. Very good. Now, what do we have over here? A boar. Perfect. Now that's not everything. We also want to start with some food production. And for this we also start with, yeah, well, the first storage building that usually belongs to this. That is the granary, or yeah, something like that. A root cellar stores food for villagers and makes it available for traders in range, right? That is something. And we should have this one a bit closer to my stockpile here as well. The reason for this is that we're going to have a market somewhere here, right? And the market needs to have these storages in its vicinity, in its area, right? So if I build the market here, we can see that we get the storage in, okay, but a root cellar is a bit out of it. So let's build the market here, over there, and that means that I can have my root cellar somewhere over here, where I would probably like to have it. And this also makes it possible to start with some basic food production now in this area here, and basically going to say, let's just see, where do we have it? The first fields that we have. We also have a hunter, provides game, meat, and leather for the settlement, right? And we can also do this, of course. Build as a hunter, probably a bit further outside here. And in front of it, we're going to have then some first basic fields. There you go. Okay, this is all going to take quite some time. We're about to finish the first construction here. And one thing I like about this game right away is that the buildings all are very detailed and beautiful to look at. Now we have a modify range, right? So this is the area that this building is now operating in. However, we can now, and this is a pretty cool feature I think, we can now specify the area where it should be working, right? So in all of these areas here that are connected, this workshop is going to operate. So we can be very specific where a building should operate, right? Even up to a single tile, which is pretty cool, I think. And it still has only half of its range, right? So we could also, for example, take all of this in as well if I want to. I'm going to reserve it for later though. A bit of rain. The first 6 days are over now. As also the first houses are coming up now. This is pretty important because, yeah, homeless people are not very happy if they have to sleep in tents. We're starting with 140 wood, so this gives me plenty of resources to have all of my first buildings basically finished. Also, over here, finally my lumberjack hut. Geether's building it, and she's not really happy, right? She's missing clothing, food especially, and also firewood. There you go. Someone is automatically taking the job. That is Eunice here, and she's now going to cut trees in the area of it. It actually built the houses before the stockpile. That is not so great because we need the stockpile to function. So they're taking the time with it. Unfortunately, I cannot put a priority on the stockpile. Next comes the farmer and the hunter. This is the hunter hut. That's pretty important for us, as we've seen some game. We should be ready for this. There it is. And she's now on the hunt. Or Torp. Now on the hunt. And already produces leather and meat. Thank you very much. I wonder where it got it from. Some birds, perhaps. The first farm is ready. Or field. We can now choose a crop that we want to have here. Or even animals. Right? And I think, for starters, let's start with a wheat field. Sarah is actually on its way already, so that we can also stockpile a bit more on that. Finally, to find the time to finish our stockpiles and root cellars. There you go. 2 people are working that right away. They're getting the resources back and forth to this building here. Now we can also specify up here what we want to show. Do we want to have showing the total amount of citizens we have? We can also show the different ages that we have, right? So 25 adults right now. I could also say the available workers that we have, which is also a nice indication. So we got 15 more workers that we can use for production. Also over here, our automated sawmill is already working, producing planks. Also, for the stockpile, we need to specify an area where it operates, right? So all the way to this zone there. So now the lumberjack hut has also access to that, and there's already 81 wood waiting in addition, plus also firewood, very important. So it's producing both of that at the same time. Over here, they still don't have access to a granary, but they're already starting to produce, right? So nothing is lost here. We have the grain already in, the vegetables already in, and the milk already in from the cow field. That is operating over here. Perfect. Just as the root cellar is coming up. There you go. And let's also specify once again an area where this one can operate. It's also now that the first tribute shows up. Tribute for the king. We have 15 more days to pay 160 coin. If we don't do this, then at some point we're getting invaded by him. So we also have some extensive tech available here for defending ourselves and soldiers, but we still need to have some prerequisites for this, right, before we can actually build that. So for now, I think we should actually pay up. 14 days I would like to wait for that as close as possible, just in case he actually wants something else right after. My next houses are being finished, those two, and then hopefully also the market stall. And let's actually build me another house right here as well. There you go. Some more 6 housing that we have then with that. Now, really important is the market. Without it, we cannot provide those homes with resources. Also, that we would have resources to collect now, right? So those are ruins. That's pretty cool. That's 100 planks that are waiting here, 50 stone and 200 in iron. Holy cow. There is another one over here. So we should definitely collect them. And finally, there we have it, the market stall. And once again, let's specify this residential area here to be within range of it. And I think also, now this is something I'm quite unsure of. We have that one here. And I think we need to make the connection here and also one here for the root cellar. Right, but this is, we're only at a fifth of what this can actually have then in its radius. We still need to have the workers. Poppy, there you go. She's doing the job. Now what we can also see, 5 days. So I'm actually going to pay the tribute. 160, we can afford that. With that we should be fine. Now the market stall gets its resources. Eggs, carrots, milk. So food is already in. Next up we should also work on some herbs. Let's have this a bit further outside here. In the forest. And get the next field ready with sheep. The reason for this is my villagers are actually quite happy now. So happiness goes up to 67. We still have a symbol here and that means there's no clothing available, right? And that's coming out of the sheep farm that we have now. And my hunter hut here is already producing a lot of leather. So we are also going to need a small stockpile in this area for stuff like leather and wool that is not being able to store in the root cellar. And this we can actually have a look at that, the next tribute. 30 days we have time to get meat and milk in these quantities. Should be possible. Alright, so let's go ahead and have the next cow field. I mean, meat is fine. Just waiting for it. And this field here, field number 5, will also get then another sheep farm probably. And what we can also have then here is 2 buildings actually. The tailor. This one is producing then clothing out of wool. Yeah. And the shoemaker. This one's producing shoes out of leather. Now the thing is, it needs iron though, so we need to wait a bit for that. And for this we need our heavy industry. This I would like to have planted here, right? We have the mountainside here too. There's stone over there and iron ore. So this is stuff that we need. One thing we don't have close by is clay. Right, so that's the only place of it that I can find so far. So I'm actually going to pave me a road right away. Get this clay deposit up there then, that we can use. Alright, you beggars, come on, build it. It's not within range. To specify it again. Also the herbalist. Up here. Now we have 200 iron in here, right? This would be possible to use. My shoemaker needs also though 20 copper. That is something I don't have at all. Let's build a quarry next, as we do need stone. That would be over here then. And there's my connection. Thank you very much for showing me where I need to have the road connection. Because we are also running dangerously low on stone. We still have a bit of stone here, so we can actually also collect this one. Still need to have also a road connection for this. Everything needs a road connection. There you go. My next stockpile takes the fields and the hunter in. And then also here my herbalist. Oh, and the tribute, I'm going to wait the full 20 days here before I pay this. Otherwise another tribute comes in right away. And there's also my tailor now in all his glory. And this building now, Eldon, he's already the tailor and he's now producing clothes for us out of the wool that we have. And with that, at least for now, we have fulfilled all the demands for these people here. So all their basic daily requirements have been met with that. And with that, we should reach 70% and more to also get a few more new people in. Now, in this case over here, we have the quarry. I only have 5 more available workers though. So we should be very careful. At the same time, I'm going rather low on tools. The other ruin that we have, there was a second ruin somewhere, right? Or am I mistaken now? Where was the second ruin? This one is gone now, obviously. There's the other one. Okay, it has bricks. It has iron or lead and coal. No tools, unfortunately. Let's collect it nevertheless. It's a very good overall income here. Take the stockpile to get this in. And there's a worker for this, right? Yes, free Rayleigh. He's going to get the materials from this. It's actually quite a bit. With that, we would have everything ready for shoemaker, honestly. But I would also like to worry about my tools now, as every building we build basically requires tools. And we're running low of this, and there's no other way of getting tools in, right? So I need to have a couple of buildings for this. The first one is a mine. There we have the iron deposit, right? So this is already another 10 tools we use for this. Quarry has been finished, by the way. So there we have now a stone production up and running. The next thing is a bloomery. Smelts the ore into sturdy metal. This takes in then the ore and it produces iron ingots out of that. And last but not least, we would have then over here. Where's my smithy? There it is. Forges the tools. Right, that we need. And this one, ooh, okay, it doesn't require tools though to produce. Still go ahead, build me the smithy and the bloomery. Right across the street. Yes, let's pay. 3 days left. We can afford this. Bit of a herbs production now running. Very good. Getting to the root cellar where we have then the herbs available that we can once again also sell at my market. And this is bringing in health for my people. Tribute. 16 milk, 10 wood, herbs now. But we can actually decide, right? We have an option here. But yeah, most of these things we have, so we can pay this. Instead of money, I could take grain. We don't have that much grain though. And there it is, also my iron mine. Also once again, fully automated and electrified. It could also be water, of course. Now, of all of this, we also need to build another stockpile for the mines. And the cool thing is that the storage is shared, right? So we have the same storage in everywhere. So we don't need to have the storage transferred between the stockpiles, right? So it doesn't matter how many stockpiles we have. It's always the same stock. That is pretty great because now we can have our iron and stone production over here, our industry production, smeltery and blacksmith over here, and then our food and clothing production over here, right? So a bit scattered around. This makes things a bit easier then also to manage. What we also need to manage is, yeah, more population to come in at some point. So I would like to go ahead and build me a few more homes here right away. So they're still within the market stall radius then. That is then over here where we're taking them in. 4 days, let's pay. The game also tells me how very kind. At this point we also have the first fire. Whatever they did to cause a fire in a quarry by rain, when it's raining, building is being extinguished. I hope not the building, I hope the fire is being extinguished. And who is actually getting the water from where? We don't have a well. Okay, it now needs renovation. Tools are required. Now we should be able to continue here. Tracy, what did you do? Starting a fire in a quarry. Bloomery, ready for action. So we can now decide what we want to do. I want to produce iron ingots. And my smithy has then the input. And we can have 2 inputs here actually. This one consumes more but produces more. Let's go ahead with that as well. And with that, we finally also have a tools production up and running. I'm very excited about this. Yeah, another tribute. I wonder, let's just pay it now. And perhaps perhaps there is still the timer kicking in the background then. We'll just see. Because we can afford it right now. We got 25,000 because we're getting lots of coin from my satisfied citizens, right? Some of them are getting really happy now. There is also my warehouse that I have finished. Do we really need... Wait a second. There's my stockpile. They should be within it though. There's my root cellar. And then we have the warehouse. There you go. Don't have someone working that warehouse right now. let's actually reduce it on the hunter. We have way too much leather and the meat I'm producing with my piggies. Let's actually have someone working in the warehouse, right? That gets now in the cloth, the wool, and the leather. I like that we can see what kind of building supports this one, right? Or is being affected by this. Do we need to have... Why is this being... Why is this missing root cellar, missing stockpile? Can't be the case, right? All within range. Do these perhaps need to have it in? Yeah, that's the case, right? I didn't expect that. There you go. We need to actually have the market stall in the range of the stockpile. Not vice versa. I thought the stockpile needs to be in range for the market, but it's actually the market needs to be in range for the stockpile. Hope you know what I'm getting at here. Because the market has its own workforce. We can also see our income, right? So we have the expenses here and we have the income. Taxes and happiness is 8,000 per month right now, thanks to the happiness that we have in addition. So that's a lot of money. There's no tribute so far, so there is perhaps the timer kicking in the background, ticking down. Okay. This one has been repaired. The iron is coming in, and that means then of course also that the tools are coming in, right? Some 42 new tools. Oh, a field is on fire. Look at that. The field is on fire. The carrots are burning in the ground. Let's douse the flames. Everything is possible in medieval times. Everything. With everything in, those people are really happy. 80% is their mood now. Still, they're angry about something. They have no access to a chapel. Before we can build a chapel though, we need to set a first decree. And this is a new feature. And that means we need to set edicts or decrees, right? That are going to give me certain bonuses. Right now we cannot do that much. But in Religion tab, there is Introduction to Christianity. This unlocks the chapel. And we can announce this. Let's do it. And with that, we should have now, somewhere over here, unlock the chapel. There you go. 10,000 it costs me. It's really expensive, and let's have it right here in the town center. Being built, this costs me 100 planks, 20 stone, and 20 iron, so that's quite steep. Alright, and with that, we have then the last need hopefully fulfilled for these buggers. And there the chapel is coming up in all its glory. Hooray! Out it goes. No one is coming in right now. These houses unfortunately are not part of it. That's okay. Not everybody needs to have access to it. It has, by the way, a very small radius. It will be interesting to see how much we need to. And it needs to have access to a root cellar. Or the root cellar needs to have access to the chapel. I think this is how it goes. And with that we can deliver the food that is being required out of this. What else do you have? Heating. Not enough firewood? Is that even possible? Ah, there it is. Might be running low on firewood. Might need to have a second... I mean, is it not regrowing trees? It is, right? So there should be enough firewood. But I think we need a second lumberjack. And by the way, also people moved in, right? We have 5 available workers. We weren't notified about this, I think. But we grew. And we also need to pay tribute again. Which we can. Let's do this. So far so good. I hope you enjoyed the hands-on gameplay of this game. Available on Steam. Stay tuned.